What is up, my little Danos? Websisi, Yokos of the Helsinki Dragons, and we are here for my Week 6 battle for the Pokemon Premier League Season 3, when I go up against Necrostever, somebody that I played last season, Week 1, first game that I was back for Wi-Fi scene after a very long time, so it was a really fun battle back then, and I'm expecting another one. It's gonna be a spooky matchup, not because of the theme as well that he has going on this season, which you need to check out his side. For this battle and his previous videos, they're really funny and cool, the way he edits them and what kind of theme he keeps on this season. And it's kind of fitting this season versus me because he picked up Annihilate. And if you know, you know, but in case you don't know, basically keeping it very short and sweet is that, well, not sweet for me, it was quite a, not a happy time for me last season when I played Annihilate in playoffs, cause he kind of just swept me off lead and I was really not happy about it, how I handle it, let's say, put it that way. So, it's big week in that regard, and it's kind of fitting that the person that does the Nightmare theme has the Pokemon that has given me nightmares for months, ever since the last season. So we're gonna find out how can I handle it this week, and all the other Pokemon that you've been able to see in front of you as I've been speaking. He has a very threatening team outside of that. I'm expecting the top 5 up until the point of, well, starting from Darkrai, Absoludon, Annihilate, Clodsai, Primarina. I feel like those 5 are locked versus me, and the last one could be anything. It could be Regieleki for spin and screens. It could be one of his Terra Captains like Articuno. It could be Grafaiai. It could even be the Bronzong. I really don't know. But I'm pretty sold on the fact that he brings the top 5, including that Annihilate. So we're gonna find out very soon how I can contain that Pokemon that has been giving me nightmares ever since last time. Alright, we are here ready to be searching with Necrostever. Let's see what he ends up bringing, cause I am expecting his top 5 to come. And then the last member of his team will be kind of like a mystery box at the moment that I'm not sure which one he brings. He has a lot of Terra Captains basically to be choosing from, or a Regieleki on that last slot. But we'll find out now what he brings. Okay, so we see Darkrai. Oh wow, I don't see Annihilate. That is massive, actually, that I don't see that. We do see Bronzong. That is his Terra Captain. Then we see Regieleki, which is probably here to remove hazards and obviously be form of speed control. And Primarina and Clodsire. Alright. So that makes things quite interesting in a way that my Tornadus that is physically defensive with Rocky Helmet does have a little less things to do on this matchup particularly. But I guess it can at least taunt always like the slower things with hazards like Bronzong and the Clodsire. It can potentially taunt the Regieleki swap in that it could set up screens. I could see it being a screens option as well with like Rapid Spin and Volt Switch. I don't expect him to run Explosion, and I do have Damp on my Steve the Swampert to cover that. My winning condition probably is gonna be more towards using my Conkeldur's Mach Punch as a priority going into this, but I'm gonna lock in this team. Well, I'm gonna be leading off with my specially defensive Hydrapple Brad, with the Assault Vest and Terra Steel. Because that's gonna be my main response to things like Primarina, a soft check to Absoludon, even though it can have body press. But yeah, I think my Ocarpon is gonna be working more as a breaker, as he leads with the Regieleki. Okay. I'm okay with this, to a degree. Now he does have potential to go for screens right away. Like light screen or whatnot. I don't know if I'm too worried about Bronzong swapping in. I kinda wanna hit this thing in that case if he wants to dedicate the screens up right away. I'm gonna Terralize anyways and just go for Earth Power, because it's important for me to get the Steel typing to cover my bases versus the Primarina. But here we go. Terra Steel, Brad is gonna be getting off his nice hat on, let's say like that. And we'll see what he does. I could see, yeah, there's the light screen. So we do see the light screen coming up, which is gonna mean that it's gonna take this hit obviously slightly better. It does a third to it. Still. Regieleki. So the light screen was up versus my... Yeah, that looks like a max HP sort of that we are dealing with here. Now, if he goes into Bronzong, I can always Dragon Tail it out to face it. So I'm kinda safe to just hit this again in case he wants to go for a Reflect as well. So I think I'll just do that. He may hard swap into the Levitating Bronzong, but I'm less worried about it at the moment. But it's pretty big that he didn't bring the Annihilate, and therefore I I don't have to deal with the biggest nightmare of what I had to deal with last season, at least in this battle, but I'm kinda curious what else he's cooking on then, as a potential win con. He does withdraw. I would imagine Bronzong. Don't recognize the name yet. It is the Bronzong, okay. So, there are a couple of things that could happen here, as we intensify that it's definitely Levitate. There's a case that this is his Stealth Rocker and he has spikes on Clodsire. Or this could try to set up like Iron Defense Body Press, and if it tries to set that one up, I am kinda in a tough spot. So I could just Dragon Tail, because the rocks are gonna go up anyways. So I'm gonna go for the Dragon Tail. He does go for the Iron Defense, okay, so this way I'm stalling out, and I intend to fight the Bronzong set a little bit. And this will do absolutely nothing, because it's a resisted hit. Along with the fact that it was +2 defense. But I'm able to recognize that at least. As we see the Clodsire coming out. Okay. So, here are a couple of things that can happen. Is one of them being him setting up Stealth Rocks on this turn. Or Spike, whichever has it. I would imagine that's what he would click, just to get the assets up. So this would be a nice turn for me to go into my Conkeldurr and start breaking his team, because nothing really wants to take it on too well. So I think I'll do that. Intensifying this as an opportunity to start breaking, because I do have Facade, Knockoff and Earthquake. I only have Mach Punch as my fighting move, because I'm expecting to utilize this thing later on. To pick up weakened things that are faster than it. Like the Darkrai, Arcelunon, or what have you. We do see spikes coming up, okay. So he does have spikes on the Clodsire, but now I get my Conkeldurr in and the Guts Flame Up is activated. Which is pretty big. Now, part of me wants to say that he doesn't have any business staying in here. And I can go for a Knockoff, which can remove Primarina's item. Or Bronzong that could otherwise swap into this, potentially. I think he has the fear of Facade as well. Let's see, if Bronzong swaps into my Conkeldurr, I can just cleanly kill it, depending on his spread. So I think I want to go for that. I don't think he wants to deal with a Facade here, or Earthquake, so he does withdraw. So I'm gonna go for the Knockoff and hopefully catch the Bronzong on this. I wanna say that's the Bronzong, as it is, wonderful, and it's taking a little bit of chip. Let's see if that matters for this to knock out. I don't knock it out just there yet, but I wanna say the following hit will. So here, I wanna say Facade such as cleanly takes you out. I doubt you would have a lot of speed on this, so I'll just go for a Facade here. That covers like Clodsire or a Primarina swapping, but I doubt any of those can really happen here. So let's just go for a Facade here. And removing the ground immunity is pretty big, because now then later on I can always Earthquake in front of Clodsire whenever it comes in, and I'm able to lure it in. Swampert can do the same thing, even though it's fully physically defensive this week, it's still pretty free to do that. And he does the stay in, and this should finish it up. Wonderful. So we kill the Bronzong, which was also the Terra Captain, so I don't have to think about typing changing anymore, which is great. And Conkeldurr is able to snag that kill there, and this is like a really good early game breaker, but also a winning condition. Like I've been mentioning with the Mach Punch. Mostly like mentioning it to remind myself that don't let this thing go down. prematurely, as the Primarina does come out. Now I do have a Assault Vest Brad to deal with this, and now that the Bronzong is gone, my Brad starts to look a lot better, because again I have Earth Power, I have pretty good coverage for his stuff. So I'm gonna go into my Hydrapple here. And we're gonna intensify how much this will do to me. I'm gonna pull up the Calc as well, ready for my Hydrapple, taking on a Primarina. I'm expecting Moonblast to come out here. I think that's most logical choice. He could also right-click a Water move. But if I intend about it being Specs, then I have a Water immunity in my Ogerpon Wellspring, so let's see what he clicks. Rat should be able to take it just fine, I wanna say. As we see the Moonblast coming out, okay. So I was 364 as I came in. That looks like Specs to me. Based on his team, he doesn't have a lot of things to deal with this. I could go for Earth Power, but I kinda also like Giga Drain just to gain some health back, along with the Regenerator. He has to withdraw here. As we see Mocha coming in. This is the Clodsire. And that will do absolutely nothing. That makes me think it's a very special defensive Clodsire then. No, wait, right, Light Screen was off, right, of course. So he will be able to stack some spikes further along versus me. I could go into my Swampert here. I have to be careful, obviously, letting it take too much damage for the Regieleki, but I think I can take one just fine. And get up my rocks. I'll just fire off a Earthquake afterwards. So I think I'll go into my Swampert here. I want to keep it reasonably healthy, but getting off a Earthquake here with Swampert seems pretty good. And I don't want necessarily my Diancie to come. I don't want my Conkeldurr coming in here, because Diancie is meant to lure in the Darkrai eventually, or force it to revenge kill something, and then I can go into my Diancie, and then my Diancie can Bottom Pass as the Clodsire will come in, and then allows Conkeldurr to come in more freely. But for now, I'll just go into my Swampert. Unfortunately, it's gonna probably... Okay, he does make a double. And goes back to the Primarina. Okay, strong double there. I don't have Hazards up yet to punish these plays, so it's fair enough from his side, but I'm still at full with my Brad after all that, so I am still okay position. I've only taken mainly the Spike with my Swampert, which is not the ideal world. But other than that, it's still fine, because every time Brad comes in, I can press a button pretty freely. Basically what needs to happen is that I'm able to get in my Conkeldurr in again, similar to last time, and every time I get it in, it's gonna force a kill as the Clodsire is in. So we're gonna see him going for the Hydro Pump, and unfortunately he misses that. For his sake. It's great for me, obviously. Again, I wanna say that you were choice locked before. So... part of me wants to say that I could go into my Ogerpon. But he could honestly make a double into that Clodsire. I could go for Earth Power to kinda engage the damage on it. I think I'll engage the damage on Clodsire and just go for Earth Power here. He does go Hydro Pump again and misses. That's pretty huge. So now I'm able to get some damage on this Primarina, which is really massive, and I get a Spadef drop. I am pretty lucky with that one. Okay. Does this change a lot yet for me? Because, like, again, I can go for another Earth Power here. Or I could go for a Giga Drain. That still does a decent amount to Clodsire. I could also make a crest, like a swap into my Ogerpon. But, let me think. I feel like he shouldn't stay in here. So I'm gonna go for the Earth Power again. Yeah, he does withdraw. I don't think he would have stayed there, the guy. He did the aggressive play last time, but now I wanna see the proper damage without the Light Scream up. How much am I doing to this Cloud? It still makes me think it's that it's very especially defensive. Which is good to know. For now, it does give myself a chance to go into my Swampert. And Swampert can actually go for a knockoff instead of Earthquake. Only because then if Primarina swaps in, I eliminate its choice specs. But I'll make the players before going to my Swampert for now. He may try to get another layer of Spike because he needs to plow through my Brad here. The other option that I could easily do is also just getting a procs, but I think for now, based on the situation, once I'm able to eliminate Primarina's choice specs item, he wouldn't have much to break me with. So I do withdraw obviously first because I'm faster. Let's see if he prioritizes the spikes or going for an attacking move or even recovery. I don't think recovery is probably necessary yet. He does go for a gunk shot and misses. Oh my. So I wanna say that I know his full moveset now. Which is... I'm gonna write it down already here. So it's probably gunk shot, earthquake, spikes, and recover. Now that Primarina has taken a little bit of damage, but for now I wanna say knocking off the Primarina is the better play. I don't think anything else wants to come in to take an earthquake. So I'm gonna remove the choice specs from Primarina. If the Clodsire stays in, then so be it. I'll eliminate whatever item he's holding on this. But I'm expecting like aggressive hard swap into Primarina and put pressure on me. Because he can potentially get himself into Torrent after taking an Earthquake from my Swampert. But let's see what he does. He does withdraw. That is the Primarina, wonderful. So now I'm able to eliminate the choice specs on it. Which is massive, because that's now the damage output he cannot pressure me with. And that thing is probably around 65%. Lost specs. Clodsire, I wanna say it's at like 75%. Regieleki is 65%. Just to keep update on my showdown as I'm doing this. So now obviously he cannot really do much to my high trapple here. I can make again the safe swapping. He doesn't have too many things that punish it other than like potentially the Clodsire. I can literally utilize even my Taunty at some point just to pivot in on a Clodsire. Even if it means that I have to take a gunk shot in its face, because the Stealth Rocks are not likely to come up anymore, assuming the Bronzong carried them and not the Absoludon. But for now, yeah, that probably means that he stayed in, unless like this Primarina doesn't pack any speed on it. As he does go for the Surf. Which will take fine. Now, going for a Giga Drain would mean that I've been calling the Clodsire swap each time with the Earth Power, but for now I think Giga Drain is fine. Just to gain some of my health back, and in a case that he stays in and wants to get into Torrent, I want to be in a high health for that situation. So he does Flip Turn out, so we have seen his set. Surf, Moonblast, Hydro Pump, Flip Turn. Okay. We have seen the set. As the Clodsire comes in, this means that I'm able to get some health on it. Now, frankly, it's also relatively low health right now, so there's always a chance that he may have to recover here. Regardless, actually, my Swampert is looking pretty good to swap in then. Yeah, because that means that I get our Earthquake off. And now I want to say this guy is at like 55% if he doesn't heal. I don't want to go into my Conkeldurr per se here. So I think for now Swampert is fine. Only because I'm expecting him to having to either go for spikes to force progress, or he has to recover to keep this thing healthy. Yeah, he does go for recover. So this means that now I finally have a situation where I have a little bit more offensive pressure. The best case scenario, if I would have hard called the recover, would have been going to Conkeldurr, but I want to kind of preserve its health for now. But at the moment, I'm looking at a very free Earthquake, so I'm not gonna prioritize my Stealth Rocks when I have a very strong, even defensive Earthquake versus his team, because his entire team is grounded, and he has, out of the 5 Pokemon, 3 of them are weak to Earthquake, and then there's Primarina that is around 65% of health, and then there's a Darkrai that I would also like to get damaged, especially if it turns out to be like a Chople Berry or something. Like any kind of damage on that thing is nice to get. But I need to start getting a little worried about this Swampert, not to get too low. Because he does still have the Regieleki around. But my Brad, the Assault Vest Hydrapple will be doing good amount of work here. He does stay in and go for another spike. So now at this point he doesn't seem to value the Clodsire anymore. Which is honestly fair. He wanted to get the spikes up on that turn. But I don't think this thing can recover its health anymore versus anything. Unless I happen to be clicking a water move. But I have a Stomping Tantrum in a case that is water absorb, which gets double powered on my Ogerpon. And I think after that kind of recovery it will kill it. So for now I'm still fine to Earthquake. Looking pretty strong with that. Because this Clodsire, if it's preserved, it's gonna be basically a sack. Which he does now withdraw. So I think now he's trying to get the Primarina position that like he can get for a Torrent boosted attacks on me. Yeah, that's Torrent boosted now. Now I need to see, without the choice specs, that it's now around the 10% range versus my Hydrapple. 2 layers of spikes. And he has Hydro Pump on this. Surf into Hydro Pump should not kill me. 2 Hydro Pumps can. This is interesting situation to be in. I think for now I'll go into Brad. In case he goes for Surf, I know I live. I'll follow up a hit. So we go into Brad here. He does go for the Hydro Pump. And that does quite a bit. Now, if I were to go into my Ogerpon on the Moonblast, because it's not specs, I can take the hit, so I'll do that. Because Brad is very good versus the rest of the things. I'm not risking a second Hydro Pump there. So we go into Mullany here. I think he's forced to go for the water move. Yep. So that puts me back at full health. Which is really, really nice. He has a couple of options here. For me, Stomping Tantrum is very free because again his team is very grounded. And ground weak. And I'm pretty sure this Primarina should die to this. And now it's good to know that if I give ever a Hazard up, this Primarina cannot swap in anymore. And obviously it cannot take any one hit anymore either. Yeah, Stomping Tantrum would kill this Primarina. So we'll go for that. He does withdraw in a case that he can get this. So this probably means Absoludon is coming in. Yeah. I want to say that is the Absoludon as it is. And I'll get some damage on this. That did about a third. About a third. So what does that intel about the Archaludon for me? Does it say anything, frankly? Archaludon. That actually might mean that it's physically defensive then. Or, like, relatively physically bulky, yeah. So that means that it doesn't have a lot of, I could use Taunt to scout this, because Taunt's value is pretty low here. And if he goes for, like, a body press and whatnot, I'll be okay. This could be a turn where he gets up his Stealth Rocks as well. So getting it before then is fine. As he does go for body press, which is huge because I have Rocky Helmet to take that hit a lot better. So that's good chip that I wanted to get. And now it's around, let me put Primarina, 10% lost specs. Archaludon is probably more physically defensive. And it's around 55%. I am at 272 with my Taunt. Does that tell me anything at +1? 272. I have 30 seconds to look at this. That looks to be pretty physically defensive. I have Focus Blast to go for here. Defensive Draco, I wanna say, doesn't kill me here. No. Draco should not kill me here, so I wanna say I'll go for the Focus Blast. Because depending on if he has a Chapo Berry or not, I would kill it, and he doesn't look to have one. And it barely lives. This could be maybe then Assault Vest. But that's huge that I managed to get that damage. He does have Thunderbolt, which is fine, because now this thing is basically a sack and no longer a way to deal with my other guys. And Air Slash is pretty free here. So I'll go for Air Slash. I'm glad that I landed that Focus Blast, because now the Archaludon is basically in a range of dying to most of my hits. Including this Air Slash, hopefully. Okay, so we killed the Archaludon, which is massive. That was a Pokemon that I did not like swapping into, if it has a +1 defense. Since my Conkeldurr is not a Assault Vest set this week, I wanted to be Guts Flame Up for wall breaking and be strong enough to hit Annihilate for meaningful damage. Because without a Flame Up, I would have done too little damage and I boosted its Rage Fist to the point that the damage is not worth it. But it just meant that I was a little bit more vulnerable in a situation like that. But thankfully, Tornado Starion has been a really clutch for me this season and managed to land its moves when I needed to and leaving that crucial hit. So now his options are basically, if he goes into Clodsire, that I remember being pretty low at the moment. I should put it like 30%, being modest about its health. I can taunt Clodsire. Primarina I should be able to kill at the range of the health it's at. Yeah, right, see, like he comes in. So that means that he's able to get up screens. But frankly, my Swampert is in a very free position to come in here and get up rocks. And if I get up rocks, the Primarina dies. Or if it comes in to attack, I can, well, to be honest, we go to Swampert anyway. I can decide if I want rocks to be up or do I want to call aggressive swap from his side and just go for Earthquake. If he makes any kind of double, I do have resources still, to the point that I can sack when I need to certain things and prioritize mons that I need for late game. But these spikes aren't necessarily the nicest thing to deal with at the moment. He does go for Reflect. So I could go for the Stealth Rocks, because frankly he cannot touch me. If he stays into Rapid Spin, I'm burning out the turns of screens. Along with the fact that I punish him for Rapid Spin because I hold the Rocky Helmet. For now, I'll go for the Rocks. If he makes the aggressive swap into Primarina, it just only gives me... it basically gives me my... Okay, he does go for the dual screens here. Which is fine. Because frankly, what happens here, I can spam Stealth Rocks in front of this thing and just wait it to die to Rocky Helmet. And then I burn out the screens. So I don't necessarily have to kill this. Yeah, I can spam Stealth Rocks, I'm pretty sure. I can go for even for a knockoff to eliminate its item, because I'm not killing it. I think knockoff is actually, because of that, probably the better play for now, and then I can spam Rocks. He does withdraw. Who is coming in on this? Primarina? Oh, do you live? You don't live Rocks here. Yeah, you don't live Rocks. Okay. So Primarina is dead. Which is pretty big. If he tries to go into anything right now to set up, which is the Darkrai basically left, I have Roar. And I have Diancie still. So there comes the Darkrai that is heavy duty boots. It is heavy duty boots. So he's behind screens right now. And it could be weakness policy. As much as it's important to keep your Crown Tie versus a Regieleki matchup, I think now it's more important to make sure that it doesn't set up while the screens are up. So I'm gonna press Roar. Yep. Bye bye Darkrai, you're not doing this to me. You're not setting up here. You're going bye bye. Goodbye, sir. We'll come back to you later. Essentially. Okay. I'm glad I called that. And now everything else that comes out, I can spam, and now I know for a fact that the hazards actually don't matter too much, because the Darkrai is boots. So, I can just Earthquake. I don't need to value Stealth Rocks anymore, I'll just Earthquake. Cool. Wonderful. So I intend to find Darkrai to be Heavy Duty Boots and Nasty Plot. I have to put that down, because I was thinking for a little while that if I didn't see the Heavy Duty Boots, it might be Weakness Policy. And that could have been scary. So, I have to be mindful of that. But for now, we can just go for Earthquake. If he goes for Rapid Spin, it shouldn't really matter too much, because the Clodsire is in the point that it should die for my guys. And if I remove this Regieleki... Okay, he does withdraw. Who does he go into on this? Clodsire? You're dying, I'm pretty sure. I don't care that you have a Reflect Up, as my voice cracked there. That's pretty funny. The Clodsire dies, so Steve gets to claim another kill. Good stuff, Steve. You've really been pulling your back this season, and even in this game. I love you for that. Okay, so the Darkrai comes in once again. I wanna see how many turns of screens you have. I should be probably looking at the other side for that. You have 3 turns. And I know that you're Heavy Duty Boots. So like... I could go into my Diancie. But at the same time, do I need to value this? Like, how much is Darkrai doing with Dark Pulse to me anyway? Darkrai. Dark Pulse to Steve. I am 187 health. Dark Pulse doesn't kill me. So... I could frankly just go for Earthquake for damage, so actually I'll just Roar again. I don't want to deal with Nasty Plot. He goes for Dark Pulse. And I managed to Roar it out. I don't want to deal with that thing in front of me. Essentially. I want to get to the point that I can just deal with the rest of his guys as I would like to. Okay, he does go into this. Oh, well, he's forced into this. He doesn't go into it. I force him simply to that. Rapid Spin doesn't take him too much further. And then again, check status. So you would have one turn of Reflect left after this turn, which is pretty good. I'll just go for Earthquake. Yeah, he doesn't really have option. I guess he quite literally cannot touch me then. But I go for the Earthquake there. And he doesn't have much of choice left from this point on. Like, he only has the Darkrai left, so I wanna say I can go into Diancie here. And I have Training Kiss to deal with you. So let's go to Diancie here. I wanna preserve this in a case that I need to gain Regenerator to Brad. And also for the fact that if I can get a high differential, I'll try to go for it. He does go for the Nasty Plot. I'm gonna go for the Training Kiss, cause that means that I can gain some health back. And get it to the point that Mach Punch should take it out. While the light screen is up, I'm probably not taking the hit as... or I'm not doing as much damage as I would like to just yet, but... Since the Reflect is gone, I just needed to get into the point that Flame of Guts boosted Mach Punch takes it out. That's really all there is to it. And based on the amount of health that he would have to take, I just need to do 13% to it, I think, and Mach Punch should take it out. He does go for Sludge Bomb. Snacks the poison, which obviously is unfortunate, but considering how lucky I've been thus far, not gonna choose to complain, obviously. And we gain decent amount of health from that. Is the light screen gonna wear off yet? It is. Wonderful. So, by actually him, if he doesn't have if he would have had Ice Beam, this is actually better that the poison did happen, because then he doesn't have the option to freeze me per se. But he may have had Focus Blast instead of Ice Beam for fighting coverage, which versus a Terra Steel Hydreigon makes sense instead of having Ice Beam for Hydreigon. So you'd rather have the damage output at that point. For me, this is basically just clicking Training Kiss as long as I need to, and eventually I'm getting to the point where my Mach Punch just finishes this Darkrai off. He has to play to the point that I don't have it, or go for that. The Dark Pulse there for a potential flinch, and I managed to get a crit there. Oh my god. I was really coming into this game, I had a mindset that I'm gonna just simply come into this game and try to have a positive mindset of thinking, I'm just gonna win, try to win as best as I can, try not to make misplays, and get myself into 4 and 2. I didn't think... I'm talking assing, I'm gonna be, now I'm kind of jinxing myself by starting to talk about I'm getting so lucky and now the Dark Pulse flinches me, which is fair enough, to be honest. Which is fair enough. I shouldn't be getting 6-0 with the way it's been going on. But obviously I'm gonna try for it. He does go for the Sludge Bomb, does take me out. He's able to claim a kill, which is fair enough. But now my Guts Flame of Conkeldurr can come in, and I have to just carefully click Mach Punch and we are fine. He could also have a Psychic move for my Conkeldurr. That could be the other coverage move, since I was talking about that, him having Focus Blast potentially. But we are hovering Mach Punch. I'm gonna press it, and that should be a good game to Necrostevo. Sorry about the shenanigans. I'm sorry. The storytelling was clearly writing as if I'm the main character. I had such a strong plot armor that it could not be broken. That little bit of flinching there on the Diancie was showing off a little bit that, hey, it's not completely written down for Websis to win this battle, but for the most part, it kind of was. I feel like I had a good prep, but obviously I got spoon-fed by a bit about the differential, so I'm not gonna walk away from this game like, oh, that was nice and deserved 5-4 that I got today. Like, obviously I got lucky. But I'll take it, because this means that I go into 4-2, put myself in a lot better position, where my season started at, after the first 3 weeks I was 1-2. And I started to get stressed about, like, am I actually making playoffs at this rate? Obviously not, but I need to start picking up my game. And now past 3 weeks have gone really well for me. Obviously luck involved when it comes to differential, but I think I have had a much better preparation going to my games. But again, shenanigans happen. I'm sorry that I got so spoon-fed. I just had the plot armor this week. Hopefully I can keep this armor. I need to really try to hold on to that best really tightly for next week, because I would like to have this kind of opportunity to win next week, which is going to be also another important game for playoffs. So stay tuned for that. Until then, thank you for watching once again. Make sure to check out my description for the courses of the league so you won't missing out the battles, as well as the name for the thumbnail maker, that being Detective Butters, who does my thumbnails, and she does fantastic job with them. Again, if you're a smaller content creator like me, if you're not great at using Photoshop yourself, highly recommend her and check her out and get in touch with her so she can make some stuff for you as well. Until next week, thank you again. I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.